Hi, my name is Evan. I'm the CTO of Edo AI. We create code reviews that actually run your code and give you runtime evidence. We've recently open sourced one of our internal tools, and I want to show you how to use it. So let's get into it. This is Moo. It's called Moo because copy on write, but it is essentially a VM manager. This means your agent, when it's working, gets its own VM. It can run its own experiments, create its own runtime evidence without touching your machine. It's micro VMs. They boot up super fast in under half a second, and it's tied to Git. So if you need to revert to a previous VM state, you get that. If you need to bisect or other common Git commands, you can get that with a native VM integration. So let's go in and get started. You're really going to see how much we get out of it when we try to do things in parallel. So the easiest way to get started is to just tell Claude to do it. So if we go here and we go to the terminal, we're just going to run Claude dangerously skip permissions, get that going. And all you have to do is tell Claude to help install it. Let's also specify that it should set up the skills. So while that's going, a little bit about the motivation for Moo. If you're using something like parallel agents, you're probably using Git worktrees. And Git worktrees are great, but they version files. So you can work on different copies of the files in parallel. Now, this is great for editing and reading files, but at the point where you're trying to execute code, it's really easy for agents to run over each other. The problem is that if you have an agent working on one task, maybe it breaks a test, and the other agent who's verifying what they just fixed is working with this test is now seeing a broken test. Now they're caught and tangled, and they're trying to fight each other. This is really painful for working with agents. Right now, there are a lot of cloud-based sandbox solutions, but you don't get the same control. One of the real benefits of Moo is everything is local, everything is happening on your machine, and you're able to interact easily with Claude without any internet as much as you want. And if you used a open source agent framework, something like OpenCode and an open weight model, something like GLM 5.2, you would actually be able to run everything without actually being connected to the internet, which is pretty cool. Basically, what it's doing is it's installing this binary. Everything is written in Rust. We look at the crates. There's a few different things, but primarily the way that you interact with Moo is 4 different commands. So Moo is meant to be a super simple building block that basically allows you to create extensions on top. You have Moo new, which is create or restore a machine, run, which is how you execute commands in it, save and drop. And these are what kind of gets tied into your GitHub worktrees and branches so that you have different branches associated with different micro VMs. And since it's copy on write, it means that you're not actually going to incur a lot of storage. It's going to be relatively cheap. You can also do this optionally, which is a clickable desktop. By default, machines are headless, but you can also make it really interactive. You can interact with it through the browser through no VNC, which is you go to a link, you can just tell Moo to open it for you, and you'll be able to actually interact with the VM, click around, run commands, run in the terminal. One thing that's unusual about Moo and the way that most sandboxing solutions work is their goal is to sandbox your agent from the rest of your machine. And I think that this is an okay principle. It's definitely a security conscious principle, but the issue with that is your agents aren't as effective. So one thing that's really nice about Moo is you can also have a single agent with its sub-agents control multiple VMs all at the same time. This isn't isolating and sandboxing your agent. It's giving your agent a new tool that allows it to execute commands and run code and take screenshots and do all that safely without stepping on the toes of any other agents you have running. If we look at what it did, it was able to install the skills and install the commands, we should now have moo available as a command. Yeah, there we go. We have moo, it's installed. That's all it took. So let's commit these changes. Yeah, we internally have a couple skills related to PRs. So it's going to load in the PR skill, and that's going to open a PR for us. And that's it. We just installed moo. It is ready to go. It's that easy. I basically had to do nothing except give Claude the link and tell it to install moo. One last thing about moo, it is open source, released under an MIT license, so you can do whatever you want with it. Now that you have the skills loaded, you just have to say moo code or moo verify, and your agent will be empowered to execute commands and to verify all within a VM that is totally isolated.